All right, last day of new notes for the Baroque period. We are talking now about Baroque theater. So we are mostly going to be talking about France. So in the Renaissance, we talked about Italy with Commedia dell'arte, and we talked about England with Elizabethan theater and Shakespeare, and now we're talking about theater under Louis XIV. So when we talked about dance, we talked about his académie, where they each focus on a specific art discipline. One of those is still around to this day. It's called La Comédie Française. Comédie in French originally meant actor. So this school began as La Maison de Moliere, the House of Moliere. So comedy as we know it today began with Jean-Baptiste Moliere, who was a playwright, a director, and an actor for the court of Louis XIV. He was born Jean-Baptiste Poquelin in 1622, the son of a wealthy merchant, so he had some availability in his life to learn this art. At age 21, he gave up his job in public to become an actor. He founded a troupe of actors known as Théâtre Illustre and traveled the country for 12 years. So remember, there aren't really secure theaters yet. They travel around and set up and then play for people in different towns. He did that for 12 years. By 1659, he had secured the patronage, meaning that he was being paid by Louis XIV, and became the official leader of Le Troupe de Roi, or the King's Company. So this is a big factor in legitimizing theater. He was the inventor of a genre called the comédie ballet, an art form specific to Louis XIV's court that combined plays and ballet. Remember, Louis XIV loved ballet. He was famous for his satirical plays that included criticism of the nobility and clergy, which he could only do because he had the protection of the king. He actually died on stage while acting in one of his own plays, Le Malade Imaginaire, the imaginary sick person. He played the main character who always thought he was dying from sickness. There's this huge coughing scene, and he was coughing himself, and everyone thought that that it was part of the scene, that he was acting like he had died, but in fact it was real. So one of his most famous plays that we're going to talk about and you're going to have the opportunity to watch for extra credit is Tartuffe. I believe you read this in senior English with your English teachers. It is his most famous play. It's a comedy in 5 acts. It's the story of an attempt by the impostor Tartuffe to destroy the happiness of the noble family who has employed him. Tartuffe is an actor who pretends to be a priest and counsels the family. He uses the play as a means of critiquing the faults of the nobility and the clergy. By making Tartuffe a priest, a deceitful priest, Moliere highlights the hypocrisy of the church at the time. The play caused an outrage and was forbidden to be performed in public. However, King Louis XIV allowed it to be played at Versailles. So if you were a member of the French court, the French upper nobility, you still got to see this play at Versailles because the king can do whatever he wants, right? So let's talk about the comédie ballet, that genre that he created. So this was invented by Moliere and only used during the court of Louis XIV. It disappeared after this. The very first of the genre was called Les Fâcheux, with words written by Moliere, choreography by Pierre Beauchamp, and music written by Jean-Baptiste Lully. We saw him in that clip from the Louis XIV movie. This play, this comédie ballet was written in honor of Louis XIV, and he loved the genre so much that the main players of the time, Beauchamp, Lully, and Moliere, continued to create them 10 in total. They never really caught on anywhere else because they are so intricate. The masterpiece of the genre was Le Malade Imaginaire from 1763, which is the play that Moliere died performing. All right, so now if you go into your Canvas, you have the opportunity to watch the play for extra credit. I think it's great. So if you have some extra time on your hands and you want to get your grade improved as much as you can, it's 100 points to watch it and write a summary. Okay? Take advantage of it.